The Spider-Man Brand New Day trailer just came out and it looks incredible. Honestly, it looks like it could potentially be my favorite Spider-Man movie yet. Everything about it, the vibe, the visuals, the music. I actually haven't seen the trailer yet because at the time of this recording, it is the night before it drops. I am super excited though, and from what we know and like the 5 clips we've seen, it could potentially be my favorite Spider-Man movie. To ride the hype of the trailer release, we are doing another Spider-Man video. This time, I'm pitching Spider-Man's college trilogy, and I say that even though that's like every single Spider-Man video I've done. Who cares though? We're doing it again. Before we get into that though, it is time for the comments of the week. This week's comment is from Spider Knight, and he says, "We need more snakes on rakes in this world." And that is absolutely true. We do need more snakes on rakes in this world. If you don't know, snakes on rakes are people who prioritize lessons over comfort. They grab life by the horns, and they're overall just epic sigmas, and they're just awesome. Bees and trees, on the other hand, they're the opposite. They're fine where they're at. They prioritize comfort over lessons, and they just suck. Yeah, I mean, if you're a bee in a tree, you're a bee in a tree, but if you're a snake on a rake, you would subscribe to me. Oh, that was Loki bars. No, it wasn't. I'm a chud. Speaking of snakes on rakes, the 3 newest subscribers to the channel are definitely snakes on rakes. Those 3 newest subs are Drew Huey, Blood Noir, Blood Noir, spelled with 1s and 0s, you know he's epic, and Gag Lord. Bud, you're gonna have to change your name, because there can only be one Gag Lord. This town ain't big enough for the 2 of us, buddy.
You left your hoodie on my chair. Still find your hair tie everywhere. My friends keep talking, bro, you're fine, but every joke falls flat each time. Try to fill the silence with anything that's loud, but every crowd feels empty if you're not in the crowd. Without you, I cannot survive. Without you, there's no joy in my life. Without you, the sun doesn't shine. Without you, I need you back in my life.
I'm saying college trilogy, but really it's just the adult trilogy. I guess adult trilogy just doesn't sound as appealing. People say that since Brand New Day takes place, 4 years after No Way Home, he can't be in college, which is just so stupid. He's a senior in No Way Home. 4 years after that would make him a senior in college. Also, he's getting his GED and stuff, so he could have just started college later. And so yeah, it's just a dumb thing to mention. I don't know why people are actually talking about that. This trilogy would be fully on the street level side of the MCU. We got characters like Daredevil, Luke Cage, Jessica Jones. This is the side that Peter Parker should always be on, and the side that he will stay on for the foreseeable future. And lastly, the overarching villain, or villains I should say, of this trilogy are Tombstone and Scorpion McGargan, because they are both sick. And I kind of want to, get into that Spectacular Spider-Man Tombstone sort of dynamic thing, because that would be awesome. Alright, starting with Brand New Day, I've pitched Brand New Day multiple times. In my most recent video, I literally copied the script from my full Brand New Day pitch, so I'm not going to be doing that again because I'm lazy. I'm just gonna go over the rumored plot and add some tweaks to it. I know this isn't really a full pitch, but I promise the next 2 will be. Alright, we're just gonna read off of this long plot rumor. I haven't read this before, so it's also kind of a reaction. Okay, part 1. After No Way Home, Peter is basically a ghost. Peter Parker spends all his time as Spider-Man. He narrates a confession to MJ. Believes she's better off without him. Same with Ned. Fuck Ned. Big themes with loneliness and isolation. Yeah, that's pretty much, that's how I would do it, Quick montage scene, Peter beating up mid villains. What makes those villains mid? These are sick villains. NYC loves Spider-Man except for the DODC, as they view him as something they have to manage. Once again, yeah, that's totally all part of my plot. I actually came up with that before reading this. The montage ends with Peter having problems with his powers. Okay, we're just gonna go through this a little bit faster. So yeah, DODC is a big part, I guess. Peter struggling with his powers. That would be due to mental stuff, I guess, kind of similar to Spider-Man 2. Instead of losing powers, he gains extra ones. Sadie Sink plays Jean Grey. She's on the run because the DODC believes she's an unregistered mutant with uncontrolled power. She sees Spider-Man as reckless. Whenever he appears, the situation gets worse. Punisher protects Jean because they work together. So in my version, I think I would have Jean maybe be a classmate at ESU. She knows Peter's secret and stuff. She knows about the whole memory wipe because, you know, she's a, what do you call it? She can read minds and stuff. So Peter, while he does believe that MJ and Ned are better off without him, he's kind of telling himself, well, maybe this is a way where I can get them back into my life. Maybe there's a way where I can have them remember me but not remember Spider-Man. Maybe Jean Grey is the way. So Peter is kind of seeking out Jean and kind of hoping that she can help him. Jean is kind of against Peter because I guess she sees him as reckless. We'll just go with that. Tombstone's the big bad. He profits when the streets are scared, sure. He hires the Hand to free Scorpion from the DODC. Fight scene in the prison. Fight scene, basic stuff. Bruce Banner is the only person who can help Peter's body forces a metamorphosis and ends up in a web cocoon. So in my version, Bruce Banner is teaching a guest lecture at ESU, and Peter is seeking him out to help control his anger and emotions because, of course, Bruce has that problem with the Hulk, so he helps Peter in that. All that stuff, Tombstone, whatever. Under intense stress from Peter, this stuff is kind of dumb. Shows up in a tank to fight. Okay, yeah, we're just gonna forget about all that. So basically how my version would end, I guess something involving Jean Grey would cause Hulk to lash out. He doesn't become Grey, he just becomes Savage Hulk again. And then there's a big fight involving the Hulk, Punisher, Spider-Man, Jean Grey, and Scorpion. In the end, Peter would be the one to help Bruce calm down and control his emotions, like Bruce helped him control Peter's emotions throughout the film. And yeah, okay. Finally, Peter finds MJ and her boyfriend Harry Osborn. We can roll with that too. He tells her everything that happened from No Way Home. No, I wouldn't have that just yet. So at the end of my version, Peter decides to leave MJ and Ned alone and at least try to start a new life. And then the last thing I want to add, at the end of the movie, Tombstone would put a $100 million bounty on Spider-Man's head. Alright, now that Brand New Day is out of the way, it is time to get into the real stuff. Spider-Man 5, which is titled Spider-Man: Kraven's Last Hunt. So this movie takes place after Secret Wars, and in Secret Wars, Peter, of course, gets the symbiote. This film would follow him in the middle of fighting dozens of mercenaries off after Tombstone put the hit on him. Mr. Fantastic and Human Torch would cameo. Mr. Fantastic would be investigating. Mr. Fantastic would be researching Peter's symbiote suit. Some of the villains that Peter fights off in this film would include the Enforcers, Shocker, Chameleon, Spencer Smythe and his Spider Slayers, but of course, the main villain is Kraven the Hunter. Kraven is searching for his final hunt. I didn't want to do something super similar to Spider-Man 2 with the cancer and stuff. Well, I did want to do something similar, but not the exact same. In this version, I thought we could have Kraven maybe losing his will to live. He feels like he's failed as a husband, he feels like he's failed as a hunter, and just he feels like he's failed as a human being. And he wants to justify his own existence by doing one last hunt, the biggest hunt yet, Spider-Man. Peter is completely struggling with a symbiote in this movie. He's having some thoughts similar to Kraven, and towards the end of the second act, he is about to kill Shocker when all of the sudden Daredevil appears. This is Peter and Matt's first time interacting, and they fight each other. Matt eventually convinces Peter to take the suit off, and he does. Another thing to mention is that Miles Morales would appear in this movie. This would be his first appearance, and he would become friends with Peter. At the end of the movie, towards the final fight, Peter realizes that the suit was not the one making him hostile, or it was amplifying it, but he had that anger, he had that loneliness within him the entire time. That was him, those were his true feelings. He fights through it though, and he does not kill Kraven, even though that's what Kraven wants. Instead, he tells Kraven that even if you feel as though you've lost all your will to live, even if you feel as though you'll never be happy again, one thing you never lose is the potential to make others happy, the potential to help people. Peter tells Kraven that we all have the power to make change. We all have the power to help the world around us. And with great power, there must also come great responsibility. Peter finally feels like he has people in his life since the memory wipe thing. He has Miles, Miles' family, and Matt. But the movie does end with MJ returning, revealing that after the universe reset from Secret Wars, she remembers him. And then in the post-credit scene, Miles Morales gets bitten by a radioactive spider. What do you think about that, Zach with a K? Well, okay, first of all, I know you are ethnically ambiguous, but I'm pretty sure you're not allowed to say that. And second of all, I do agree, these glasses are dope, and they do make me look like a Sigma. Thank you. Thank you very much, Zach with a K. Finally, we have Spider-Man: The Last Stand. This film would follow Peter training Miles to become the next Spider-Man after he, of course, got his powers in the post-credit scene of the previous movie. And it would also follow him reconnecting with MJ after she showed up at the end of the previous movie. Tombstone would finally reign over New York City and control all the crime, and Mac Gargan, who was working with him still, would get the Venom symbiote and become the new Venom. The movie would follow Peter teaming up with Miles, Daredevil, and a bunch of other MCU street-level characters to take on Tombstone, his crime syndicate, and of course, Venom. Overall, this movie would be about Peter letting go of the control he's been trying to have throughout this trilogy. He was letting Spider-Man consume him, and he's finally learning how to become Peter Parker. He has MJ back, he has his newfound family with Miles and Matt, and he's finally happy again, and he wants to explore that Peter Parker life. Miles, however, he feels as though he can never live up to Peter Parker, and by the end he learns that he can't. He will never be Peter Parker, but he is still Spider-Man. He is Miles Morales, and that's perfectly fine. And that's pretty much how it ends. This would pave the way for Miles getting a trilogy. I would, of course, like to see Peter get more movies, Tom Holland get more movies after this trilogy wraps up. But it sounds like that's not exactly the way it's going to be, so I'm fine with this too. I'm bringing the Patreon back because I don't make money off of these videos. You don't have to subscribe to it, but it's just like $1. I'm probably going to post videos like a week early or something. And yeah, subscribe to the Friday Night Lights channel if you want to watch sports videos. That's going to be starting up soon. Join the Discord. That's in the description too. And I think that's it. Be a snake on a rake. Bye. Love you.